Hello students, again welcome back on our e-learning sessions, that is online lecture series for the subject BCCA 3rd Sem Business Economics. In earlier sessions we have seen the elasticity of demand. What is elasticity of demand? Then we have seen the definition given by two of the authors, two of the economists, and then we have seen the different types of price elasticity. As I have told you that there are three types of elasticity: income elasticity, cross elasticity and price elasticity. And out of that we need to see what is price elasticity, because price is that determinant, price is that factor which is going to get affected morely in case of quantity demanded. Getting my point? It means price elasticity of price is more considered other than the other determinants. Okay, so we have seen the different types of price elasticity of demand. In price elasticity we have seen 4 to 5 types, that is perfectly elastic, perfectly inelastic, unit elastic, etc., etc. Now in many of the many of the types when we have seen that perfectly inelastic or a relatively inelastic. In case of perfectly elastic demand, we have taken the example of medicine. Okay, we have taken the example of medicine, and why? These are the life-saving, the life-saving drugs. Medicines, you can opt for substitute, but you cannot deny the demand of such products. That is why it is said perfectly inelastic. Okay, perfectly inelastic, perfectly elastic, unit elastic, relatively elastic, relatively inelastic. All the types we have covered and we have seen. We have taken the different examples also. When there is a small change in price, how the quantity demanded is affected. If there is a large change, means big change in the price, then how the quantity demanded is affected. All that we have seen in earlier sessions. Okay, we have taken even in the last type of elasticity that we have seen perfectly elastic demand. In perfectly elastic demand we have seen the example of vegetables or fruits also. Here in perfectly inelastic and perfectly elastic, the graph or the curve changes. Okay, because these such of these products are necessary. Vegetables, you might have some substitute for vegetables. Okay, but in case of medicines, in case of life-saving drugs, there is no option. So elastic, inelastic. Elastic means what? In general, what do you define as elasticity? Means the elastic is that element or is that type of where you can stretch that particular elastic up to one limit, but after one limit that elastic you cannot stretch, or it will get break or something will happen. It means what? At one. That is why it is said it is a technical term. It is represented with the help of formula. Okay, percentage change in quantity divided by percentage change in price into price divided by quantity. That is a numerical formula, or which is a representation of the elasticity of demand, price elasticity of demand. So we have seen mainly the price elasticity of a demand, price elasticity of a particular commodity demanded. Clear? So now as we have seen these all 4 types along with the different curves. Now there are some factor determinants or factor affecting for elasticity of demand. Now when the elasticity of demand, we see that factors affecting the elasticity of demand. What is the first point, or what is the first reason for the factor determinants of elasticity of demand? Availability of substitute goods. Just now we have discussed there are substitutes, there are other options for the consumer to buy the products or to go for those substitutes. Okay, so factor determinant. So availability of substitute, the products which are available in the market which have the substitutes, which has the another options. So availability of the substitute of goods is one of the factor determinant for the elasticity of demand. Here how we can correlate with the substitute goods? Okay, medicines, and these are inelastic. Why these are inelastic? Because there is no option. Okay, there may be different companies option who are producing those goods. You can avail or you can buy any another medicinal company's products, but you cannot deny. You have to take, you have to utilize those medicines. Okay, so availability of substitute goods is one of the factor responsible, or one of the factor determinant for elasticity of demand. Then consumers budget. Okay, to satisfy the needs. Actually, again and again I'll repeat that what is law of demand, or what, when we are studying the demand topic, it is a analysis of consumer behavior. Now we have many options available. As we have seen the substitute goods, we have many substitute, many options, many areas which are open for you. Now it is up to the consumer's budget, how much money the available, that again the determinant, that is, which is we have seen in the law of demand, that how much money you have, purchasing power or the availability and capacity to pay for the goods. That is what is consumer's budget. Means how much the money available with you, how much the amount in your pocket, and how much you want to spend. Okay, it makes a difference. That is why it is called budget. Okay, maybe you want to buy a car. Okay, but while buying the car, before that you have to see how much money, what is your budget, and what are the different companies' cars available in the market, and considering the position of the commodity also. Okay, the availability of the commodity also in the market, the budget, the consumer will adjust his budget for that particular quantity demand. Okay, then nature of the commodity. Nature, what kind, what type of that product is, what kind of that commodity is, that is what is nature. Okay, in nature there are n number of products in the market. Okay, some are the products manufacturing goods, some are the industrial goods, some are the fast moving consumer goods, some of the goods which are essential goods, some of the goods which are depending on the taste, habits and likings of the consumers, but that all is considered under one roof as a nature of the commodity. Now here we can say that food and salt is inelastic. Now why it is inelastic? Because it is essential. If you don't take medicine, if you don't eat food, okay, and that too, for example, salt and sugar. Sugar have a availability of jaggery, but what about the salt? Salt is completely inelastic, because for the salt there is no other option. Salt, the taste which is given by the salt, there is no other substitute, no other product which is giving you that importance or that taste. So always remember the example of salt in case of price inelasticity. Okay, perfectly inelastic. Then the other things, that furniture, the furniture at your home, the type of chair, the chair you want to buy, the chair you want to purchase, the table you want to purchase, it means those are what? Those are elastic. Means you can wait for that, or you can have option, you can opt the another product which is available in the market. But the product like medicine, food or even the salt, it is inelastic, means it has no option. The very best example for inelastic is salt. What is that? Salt. There is no other product which is giving the taste which is given by the salt. Correct? So then we will see the number of uses which a commodity have. A commodity have a different uses. Here we can take the example of number of uses which a commodity have. For example, we will take the example of here is milk. What is that? Milk. When the prices of the milk is high in the market, at that time what a consumer will do, what a lady of the home minister, what she will do? She will restrict her utilization of milk up to drinking or making tea only. But when the prices of milk, when the rates of milk are lower in the market, she will utilize the same product for preparing other products. So what are the other products? Curd is the byproduct of milk. Then butter is the byproduct of the milk. So these are the number of uses which a commodity have. That's why we have taken here the example of milk. In case of milk, what happens? If the rate of the milk in the market are high, then the use or the utilization of the milk will be restricted, okay, will be concentrated towards drinking or for tea only, okay, no other extra use. It means no other byproducts which are prepared at home will be avoided by the lady of that house, like curd and butter. So the number of uses which a commodity has is one of the factor determinant for elasticity of demand. Clear? Now, time period or duration. See, there are certain oils. We will take here example of petrol and diesel. In case of petrol and diesel, what happens? The rates of petrol and diesel in the market are depending on the oil available. That is the rates of this petrol and diesel are decided, or it means these are the crude oil. It depends on the crude oil available in the market, and that crude oil is purchased by the foreign companies, by the other countries, by India. Now in India, if the petrol prices, the diesel prices has to be decided, in that case these prices, as I've told you, depends on the crude oil. If the prices of crude oil is increasing or decreasing mode, the prices of crude oil increasing, decreasing, rising, going high, coming down, then immediately the prices of petrol will get affected. Clear hai? So the prices of petrol will get affected, but that duration will be a small duration. The rates of the prices of the petrol will be high for some time, and if the crude oil prices gets down in the market, the rate of the petrol will also get down in the market. So this is one of the factor determinant for elasticity of demand. Getting my point? So consumer habits. Again we have seen consumer habits. That there we have taken the example of tea also. Means the habit of the consumer, taste, liking, habits, dislikes, each and everything is because the consumer behavior is studied. Okay, law of demand says that it is an analysis of consumer behavior, how a consumer behaves. It means indirectly it is a study of a human nature also, how he behaves in the market, considering one of the commodity, price of the commodity, type of the commodity, then substitutes available. There are other factors also, we have seen that. Okay, so consumer habits, consumer likings, the habit of using the products, that also makes the difference. So consumer habits also plays a role, or we can say that it is one of the factor determinant or factor responsible in case of elasticity of demand. Then price, what do you say that? Price range of the prices. Okay, the same product. Again, there are other companies who are producing the same product. Which example we can take? We can take the example of bags also, we can take the examples of bottles also. There are other products also. Means the product will remain same, but the price range is different. In that case, considering the availability of money, the purchasing power of the consumer, okay, means the person who is rich or who is having more money, he will buy the purse, he will buy the bag of a good company, although the price is high. But if a lady who wants to buy a purse, but she is not having more money in her pockets, what she will do? She will just satisfy her need. She will just satisfy her wish with the availability of the money which she is having. So price range means the same product is having different price range. It is up to consumer to decide or to choose that product according to the availability of money or capacity or purchasing power of his income. So price range is one of the factor determinant in case of elasticity of demand. Okay, so here elasticity of demand topic is covered, or we can say that the elasticity of demand topic is completed. Now we are taking demand forecasting. Now what is demand forecasting? In general, what we can say about forecasting? Okay, here what is the meaning of forecasting? We will see. Forecast means to judge, to analyze, to predict, okay, to think about in future what might happen. See, past, present and future, three tenses you have learned in English: present tense, past tense, future tense. This future tense is somehow related to forecasting, and here we are looking for demand forecasting. Demand means a demand for a single product, a demand for the products, okay, which is considered in demand forecasting. So here the general definition of demand forecasting, that is considering the past experiences. What is that? Considering the past experiences, realizing or moving with the present situation, okay, and estimating the future predictions is known as demand forecasting. What is demand forecasting? Considering the past experiences of a particular commodity's demand, considering the past experiences of a commodity's demand, realizing or moving with the present situation of that particular quantity demanded, and estimating the future predictions. This is what is demand forecasting. Nothing to be done. So past, present and future, three tenses. Just try to recollect your school English. In grammar, what you have seen, that past, okay, you should not repeat the mistakes which have been made by you in past, okay, so that the certain uncertainties can be avoided. Okay, here with reference to demand forecasting, if a producer, a person who is dealing in any kind of production activity, okay, now if he knows he is doing his business since last 2 to 3 years, it means he is having the past experiences. So the mistakes which have been made in past will not be repeated. That is what is considering the past experiences, realizing or moving with the present situation and estimating. Now when the past is considered, present is realized, means present you have, the present is in front of you, and according to that, and it means based on that, the future is estimated. Again, what is forecasting? It is a estimation, it is a prediction. So estimating the future predictions related to that commodity, related to a product in which the producer is dealing. So this is what is demand forecasting. Clear? So general definition, we have seen that considering the past experiences, realizing or moving with the present situation and estimating the future prediction is known as demand forecasting. Now we will see the meaning of it. Definition and meaning is somehow always similar. So what is demand forecasting? Demand forecasting is about predicting the demand for the product or a service at some future date, okay, on the basis of certain past and present behavior pattern. Again and again, a consumer behavioral pattern, all is considered, all is studied in the law of demand, and this is a part of law of demand. In second unit, the first type or the first contents in that demand forecasting is considered. So demand forecasting is about predicting the demand for the product or services at the some future date. It means if you have to produce any product, okay, currently you have raw materials, you have other things available with you, and with that availability of resources you have to produce the goods for the future date. But why there the forecasting is related? When you have to do the production planning, when you have to decide the prices of the product, at that time demand forecasting is required, or demand forecasting is essential, we can say. Okay, so for some future date on the basis of certain past and present behavioral pattern. It means, again, the definition and the meaning. You will find somehow the similarities in that. So demand forecasting is about predicting the demand for the product or services at some future date on the basis of certain past and present behavioral pattern. In other words, now how we can say that? In other words, demand forecasting is an estimation of future demand. It is estimation, it is prediction, it is thinking the, the forecasting the rates of the product, deciding in advance future demand. As future is uncertain, therefore no demand forecasting is 100% accurate and perfect. Okay, what it is said that it is a forecasting, means such and such things might happen in future. Maybe the things will not happen, the things will not take place as what we have considered, as what we have planned, as what we have decided. But you have to consider, taking the consideration according to the past experiences, realizing and moving with the present situations, the future. The forecast is made, and that is why it is said it is not 100% perfect and accurate, because the word itself is forecasting. It means you are planning for the future, you are planning for the next day. You don't know the the guarantee of yourself for the next 10 minutes, the coming minute also, but still you cannot leave the hope. Okay, so what will happen in future? If I want to run my manufacturing unit successfully, then what I should do? A producer always think from that point of view. So demand, in other words, demand forecasting is an estimation of future demand. As a future is, what it is said, as a future is uncertain, therefore no demand forecasting is perfect and accurate. Again and again, it is a prediction, it is a estimation. Okay, so it is just a probability of demand. What is that? It is just a probability. This is one of the important word for this definition. It is just a probability of a demand. So here we have seen the demand forecasting definition, then the meaning of demand forecasting, okay, and we have seen the factor determinants for elasticity of demand. Now in the next session we will see the importance and scope of demand forecasting and the different methods for calculating, or the different types of methods for demand forecasting. So this is sufficient for today's session. Thank you.